Yo, what is going on, guys? This is your boy Faisal here, and hey, put the pitchforks down. Hey, guns down, hands up, don't shoot. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I know I told you I was gonna have a video coming out for you guys this past Monday, but listen, I'll be saving the city. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, MJ is gonna MJ. Those who know, you know, MJ is gonna MJ. But listen, guys, I am here, and I just want to talk about it. A few things that I did and did not like when it came to the symbiote in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Now, I don't want it to seem like I'm shitting on this game. I love this game. I'm on probably my fourth or fifth playthrough. But the first thing we're going to talk about here is the suit selection. So when it comes to the suit selection, I do feel as though that they hit the nail on the head by including all the things that we did need to have in this game when it came to the symbiote suit. Now, the first thing that I do want to talk about is you might be wondering, well, what's the problem if you feel as though that they hit the nail on the head? Well, it is literally just the presentation. When it comes to presentation in a game, I feel as though that presentation is what brings players back. Presentation is what makes you remember, oh yeah, is that the game that had XYZ? And I'm pretty sure my friends are probably tired of me talking about it when it comes to me speaking about it when it comes to Madden, 2K, and even the wrestling games to a certain extent. When it comes to their presentation, the fall from grace was very bad when they used to have, ESPN or Madden used to have NBC, just small presentation things. But we're not here to talk about those games. We're here to talk about Spider-Man. And I feel as though that those who remember, they talked about the black suit being so special to the point that it deserved its own game. They said that you could not just put a black suit in the game, like it deserves its own story. And that's what they dedicated this game to. And while I did enjoy the story, like I said, I'm on essentially my fourth, fifth playthrough. I just do a lot of mission replay here. I just don't feel as though that the presentation when it came to the black suit is there all the way. I think that when it comes to the menu selection, I understand that Miles and Peter share a similar, they share the same menu, right? But I do think that Insomniac does pay close enough attention to small details, such as when you're free roaming during the story, when Peter does don the black suit in the second act of the game, the music changes. Depending on the part of the story, the music, it gets really dark, or not necessarily dark, but you can tell that there's tension. When Miles is getting ignored, even his music changes a little bit. And, it's a little bit different from the classic Triumph music that Peter has in the beginning and when the game is over. Same thing for Miles, which is also very good. The soundtrack in this game is phenomenal. But I just don't think that they capitalize on there. And I feel as though that you may be wondering, well, what could they have done to make the presentation a little bit better? I think the first thing that they could have did was make the screen and the menu a little bit dark. I feel as though that they should have locked you on only the black suits during this time period. And I know, it's a game you pay X amount of dollars for. You want to be able to do all the, the goofy things that you want to do. Like, say, during the black suit missions, you want to have on the, I don't know, they didn't have it in this game, but say they had the suit that they had in Marvel Spider-Man 1 or Spider-Man PS4 with the underwear suit, right? Like, maybe you just want to get goofy with the game. You want to have a good time. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I do feel as though that since they put such emphasis that the black suit required its own game, I do feel as though that they undercut us when it came to a few of those instances. And I think one thing that they could have did to make it look a little bit different was maybe you have a symbiote thrown on Peter, or the same way where Peter's suit came on him when he was earlier in the mission that I'm actually on right now. When Peter was about to walk into being a servant and the suit made its own tuxedo. I feel as though that if they weren't going to do every suit having its own symbiote version, like that leak had came out, or maybe it was just rumors from fans trying to speculate, build hype for the game that this game definitely did not fail to have. Maybe you have it the way that the tuxedo was made, you do that for all the other black suits. So say you have on the black suit that I have on right now, which I personally really do like. I know it's either you love it or you hate it. I really do like that suit. Say you have that one on and you want to switch to the classic black suit. Instead of it looking like you're just switching from cloth to cloth or alien to alien, allow it to, like, the same way that happens with the symbiote surge, where like he grunts and he does the pose when, like, the symbiote's taking over. Maybe you just like wrap around the suit and like it comes into being whatever suit that you had chose to do. I don't know if Insomniac might have ran out of time. I don't know if maybe that's why they weren't able to add such features. Hell, maybe that just wasn't in the cards for them. Maybe this might, encourage them to add a little bit more flavor when it comes to the detail when it comes to these games. But I do feel as though that's one thing that they could have done. I'm not here to shit on this game. I really do love this game. Playing this game multiple times, I enjoy it. I truly do. I love Kraven in this game. I feel like the vibe of the second act of this game is where the game excels the most. But I do think that some things that you kind of remember from older games that you may have played allow you to remember it for certain things, such as that. I think this could have been the game where you're like, oh, do you remember that game where they had changed the symbiote on Peter, or how like only the OGs know about this game, and you just talk about just a few things of that nature. But enough about that. Let me just get into the last thing I want to talk about in this video, and it is simply the symbiote gameplay. Now, the gameplay in this game is good. This is probably the best game for Spider-Man when it comes to gameplay, whether that's web swinging. Definitely for the web swinging, Spider-Man 2 has definitely been surpassed in that aspect. They added the zero assistance for the web swinging. This game is phenomenal. But when it comes to the combat, is what I'm talking about in this portion of the video, they did a phenomenal job. I really do like it. I think the symbiote surge is really impactful. I think you kind of get the urgency that it has when, like I had spoke about earlier, when Peter does his grunt or whatever, and then he goes into battle. But I do think that part of the reason why I don't like the combat to a certain extent is because I do feel as though that some of the finishers that they let you use should not be available for Peter in these instances. So for instance, I do understand that they did inherit the finishers from Spider-Man PS4 into this one. I don't have a problem with that. I thought that was honestly pretty smart. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. However, I do feel as though that a missed opportunity was there when it came to symbiote finishers, and I feel like symbiote finishers only apply when you're in symbiote surge mode, and I don't think that makes a lot of sense considering the fact that the symbiote's supposed to make Peter so much more aggressive. And I feel as though if you're gonna have Peter be so aggressive, then you need to have a overhaul on the gameplay. Now, this doesn't mean have circle be the punch instead of square, but rather have more different finishers. If he's supposed to be so menacing, you can keep some of the finishers that he uses with the red suit. For instance, the one where he does the 2 punches before he does the connecting kick. I think that would have been that is a good move to use when he has the black suit on. That is pretty menacing. But I do feel like they missed the mark on having me have to do as much work as I do with Peter with the black suit. Doesn't make a lot of sense due to the fact that he's supposed to be so much more powerful. And I know it's a video game, they're not going to make everything be super duper lore accurate, and you have to have the game to play at the same time. They don't want to make the game too easy. But at the same time, when you're dealing with these apex predators of hunters for Kraven, I just feel as though that's something that they could have definitely leaned in on. The game isn't necessarily super duper easy, but I do feel as though that they did miss out on those things. And the cool thing about it is I do think that the wheel that they decided to add that you see on the bottom left and right corner, that was cool, but you kind of just run into the redundancy in using the same moves, which is not necessarily like Insomniac. As you guys remember in Marvel Spider-Man PS4, it was essentially an unlimited wheel, and I do feel as though that while that was a bit much, I don't think that it would be too bad if you added in maybe two additional moves, especially if you're the symbiote. Like, you should be able to do everything that you want. Your most wildest desires, I do feel as though, should be able to be used in this game. And like I said the last time, I'll say this part, they put such an emphasis that the symbiote needed its own game, and while I won't say that they didn't do it justice, I just feel as though that they did it justice halfway. And halfway is always being able to be seen when there's so much that could be done by this company. They give us Marvel Spider-Man PS4, and that's one of the greatest superhero games ever. And I don't doubt that they can do it for Spider-Man 3, but that's all I got to say on this topic, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. More videos coming soon. It's your boy Fazo, and I'm out, bruh.